And we have a guest in the studio. It's Haverhill Mayor Melinda Barrett. And Melinda, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me here, Wynn.
Well,
I really appreciate the opportunity.
It's this is exactly what local radio is all about. Now we have time's a little bit tight, so we ask that you keep your answers short. We ask that of all the candidates. We ask all the candidates the same questions, and so I'll let you get your answer in, and then when it seems like your answer is done, I'll go on to the next question. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we'll start out easy. How long have you lived in Haverhill?
My entire life. I a third generation Haverhill, or actually fourth generation, I guess. My sister and I fight about that. My great grandmother moved to Haverhill probably in the turn of the century, a little before. So she wasn't a native.
Okay. And so we know what your day job is right now.
Yes, right now I am mayor of the city of Haverhill, and very, very humbled and honored to be such.
So in one sentence, why do you want to continue the job of mayor?
Well, we've done a lot, and we've made a lot of progress, but there's so much more to do, and 2 years for a mayoral role is rather short. All our surrounding communities have gone to 4 years. We have a lot of things in the pipeline. We've accomplished a lot, but I'd like to see them through.
All right. Now, when you've said that when you came into office, you were forced to raise property taxes upon taking office because the prior administration improperly relied on the city's surplus, called free cash, to make ends meet. And is it ever appropriate to use the surplus to reduce tax increases?
It can be, but right now we're in such a deficit. When I came into office, we were well above 60% using free cash, which is by our financial rules, we're only supposed to have 20% being used for continuing funding of operations. Right now, we're making strides, but we're still well above where we should be. I think we're down to 52-ish%, and every year we're going to chip away at that. So we're in a position where we could do something like that.
So either way, with rising costs and federal cuts, do you support raising taxes closer to the city's Proposition 2.5 cap? And if not, in a couple of sentences, what specific spending items would you cut?
Well, the goal from this last two years is to get into a position where we are living within our means for a long-term period. We have to be disciplined, keep our costs below 3%, below 2.5%. And some departments may edge up a little, but that will take from others. So, 2.5 is where we have to be per Mass General Law. So that's where we're going to be. We just had to correct some major financial problems the last 2 years.
So taxes also went up because of voter-approved school construction spending outside of the tax limit set by Proposition 2.5.
Yeah.
So assuming there's no room in the city budget, would you favor a debt exclusion to build a replacement John Greenleaf Whittier School, the last of the city's old middle schools?
I believe, we're just starting that process right now. I believe that's probably the way it will have to go, up or down. If it goes down, we'll figure out another way to do it, because those children, definitely need a newer facility to learn in. I think J.G. Whittier, some argued at the time, would have been the next school to do, and former Mayor Ferrantini chose to do the Constantino first, but both were in need, no denying that. But J.G. Whittier definitely has some issues beyond something you could easily. Well, we'll see. The MSBA process makes you look at restoration as well as new. So we'll find out if there's anything salvageable there. But they do an admirable job. They definitely needed those modular classrooms. It's alleviated a lot of overcrowding there for the time being. But that's probably not what you want to have as your long-term solution.
And final question, looking to transparency, the death of Francis Gigliotti while in police custody and the death of Officer Caitlin Tully have left the public looking for answers, especially in light of changes at the top of the police department. Do you think the public has a right to know more, and how quickly, and what types of information do you think is properly withheld?
Sure. I believe, we run into some personnel privacy issues with a lot of this police, as far as internal police matters, with the chief and the deputy chief being placed on administrative leave. I believe the patrolmen's union placed their vote of no confidence on social media, so that certainly was quite transparent. And we're having an investigator come in now. She's talking to many police officers about their experiences, how the department was run, maybe some issues that never really came out of the body until, there was a lot of stress when Officer Tully passed away, that brought them all together to, make this decision to let it be known that there were problems. And I am fully committed to discerning what went wrong, how it went wrong, and then fixing it. And we can do that with this investigation and just the lines of communication that have been opened up. And we'll let people know as soon as we can. Within those parameters of there are some personnel issues that, for privacy or HR law that you can't reveal some things, but.
All right. Well, I get that. And on as far as people finding out more about you, website, social media, how do you do that?
I have, I believe I have a social media page on Facebook. I have not been on it. Going forward, if I'm lucky enough to be reelected, I will probably pick that game up just a little bit. We've been so focused on doing the job, and the job really isn't being on Facebook. It helps to get information out, and we use Facebook for information in the mayor's office to get information out, and that's what we've been focused on. We've improved the city website. My focus has been the city as opposed to getting reelected. I hope I get reelected, but I'm trying to get everything accomplished that I possibly can to leave the city better than we found it.
All right. Well, Melinda, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate it. All
right. That's Melinda Barrett, and she is the current mayor of Haverhill. Our guest this morning here on the WAV, 97.9 WHAV. We'll take a look at the news coming up. It is the WAV, 97.9 WHAV. And in the studio with me this morning is Barrett and Burns, candidate for mayor in Haverhill. And Brandon, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, and thank you. I appreciate you having me this morning.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Time's a little bit tight, so we ask that you keep your answers short. And we start out with the easy one. How long have you lived in Haverhill?
My whole life so far, and not long enough. Plenty of years to come. I'm 23 years old, and I'm excited to keep my future in Haverhill.
And what's your day job?
My day job, I used to work downtown at Barrios, and I am currently an accountant out in Boston.
Now, in one sentence, why do you want to be the mayor of Haverhill?
The reason why I would like to be the mayor of Haverhill is I want to make sure I serve the community, and I think the status quo isn't working for many individuals anymore, and we really need to see some new leadership from the top down and make sure that we accommodate to everybody in the city.
Now, Mayor Barrett says that she was forced to raise property taxes upon taking office. because the prior administration improperly relied on the city surplus, called free cash, to make ends meet. Is it ever appropriate to use the surplus to reduce tax increases?
I think that using the surplus to your advantage, I mean, that's kind of the way accounting works, is you make sure you have a safety net, for example. And if ever times were to get tough, you should be able to use any resources available to alleviate the stress from homeowners and your residents.
Now, either way, with rising costs and federal cuts, do you support raising taxes closer to the city's Proposition 2.5 cap? And if not, in one or two sentences max, list what specific spending items you would cut.
So I believe that the budget was very firm under Ferentini. I'm sure that there are those that say we kicked the can down the road. But after the recent override, we've increased the budget over the past 2 years by $30 million, when under the previous administration, it was only projected to increase by $16 million. So we have an additional $14 million now annually within our budget. So I think there's plenty of money. And so my first thing is we need to start with a zero budget. That means we are going to perform an audit first. That's going to be one of my first actions, an audit to make sure we're spending our money properly and efficiently. And then starting from a scratch budget, because Ferentini was mayor for over 20 years. And, unfortunately, I haven't seen this leadership from Mayor Barrett of taking accountability and starting stuff from scratch. It seems we're just continuing the line.
Now, taxes also went up because voter-approved school construction spending outside of the tax limit set by Proposition 2.5. And assuming that there is no room in the city budget, would you favor a debt exclusion to build a replacement John Greenleaf Whittier School, the last of the city's old middle schools?
So I hear you there. And my big question to everybody on city council and the mayor goes back to the previous administration saying that they put aside money for the Constantino School, and part of that tax override increase was to fund the Constantino School. So it seems a little contradictory that we had money set aside by the Ferentini administration, and then we requested even more money under the new prop for the tax override. So I really would like to go back to starting at a zero budget, finding where all our money is going, and making sure we're spending it efficiently, and then go from there.
And looking to transparency, the death of Francis Gigliotti while in police custody and the death of Officer Caitlin Tully have left the public looking for answers, especially in light of changes at the top of the police department. Do you think the public has a right to know more, and how quickly, and what types of information do you think is properly withheld?
So I think, and this has been my personal belief on my campaign trail, I have not mentioned either of the incidents because I don't want to use tragic events to push forward my political campaign. But I definitely think there's been a lack of leadership from City Hall because the Patrolmen's Association voted no confidence in both the police chief and the deputy chief, and we moved forward by promoting the deputy chief to the police chief. And now, as of last week, we had 3 different police chiefs in the city. Part of my plan, I don't want to hide behind a PR firm. I would hold a press conference and launch fair and transparent third-party investigations to both families and any further incidents, which we pray that will not happen. And I would meet with those families and with the police force that were affected by it, because we really need to hear what everybody's thinking. And, in doing so, make sure we're being a more inclusive society and adjusting to all individuals.
All right. And how can people learn more about you?
Everybody can follow me at Brandon4, the number 4, Haverhill.com. There I list out my entire platform, ranging from my views on how we're going to work together to do school reform, my stronger tax policies, the overdevelopment that's going on within the city, and plenty more.
All right. Well, Brandon, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Wynn. Appreciate it.
And good luck in the election. Barrett and Burns, candidate for Haverhill Mayor, our guest this morning here on the WHAV, 97.9 WHAV.
Wake up with Wynn Damon weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on 97.9 FM WHAV.
Catch the wave, WHAV.